What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dillian, the body snatcher Whyte. His new trainer has been revealed as Harold the Shadow Knight, former trainer of undisputed heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis. He guided and aided Lewis from both of his losses to victories against McCall and Hasim Rahman. Okay, so he has knowledge of being the comeback coach. So Harold the Shadow has been following Dillian Whyte for a very long time. Okay, he's been watching his style and appreciates his work ethic. Okay, and his tenacity. And he says that this is Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte says that he's honored to have him aboard. He's going to be joining Xavier Miller, okay? So he's not replacing Miller. He's just aiding Miller, okay? So that's a good thing, too. And along with navigating through the process of getting Dillian Whyte ready for March 6th, okay? So March 6th is pretty much right around the corner. So you got a month. You got really a month and a couple weeks. So you got about 6-7 weeks to get Dillian Whyte prepared for another showdown with Alexander Povetkin. And Harold, I think, would be a great asset to this fight camp. I think that gives him the confidence more so than anything else. And I think it's also symbolic. Okay, how is it symbolic? It's symbolic because he's the guy that aided Lennox Lewis from his defeats. He turned his defeats and avenged his defeats, okay, with victories. So he wants to do the same thing with Dillian Whyte, and so far he's 2-0, especially with one of the best boxers on the planet at one point in time, and his name was Lennox Lewis. Okay, so I think the Shadow would be a great asset, you know, given to the point that a lot of people thought that Dillian Whyte shouldn't have split with Mark Tibbs. This is another seasoned trainer that can properly replace Mark Tibbs, because Mark Tibbs was a guy that was supposed to be there, and 6 weeks notice he couldn't make it. Okay, since he couldn't make it, it was a situation where a lot of those fingers are pointed at that reason. Okay, and that reason alone, like maybe Mark Tibbs would have teached him how to pick up the pace, hit the gas, pump the brakes on the gas, right? Hit the brakes a bit. But in this case, he has someone that can equally match the training tutelage of Mark Tibbs. So it looks good. It looks very good to me. But what's most important here? The most important thing is how Dillian Whyte feels. Dillian Whyte likes the idea. It gives him confidence. So he's satisfied mentally from bringing on someone like the Shadow. Okay, so I think Mr. Knight, the Shadow, would be a great asset. Why not? As long as it's good for Dillian Whyte, it's good for me. Again, I'm glad that he didn't replace Xavier Miller, because I don't think that would have been the idea, because it's always an experimental process, okay, when you're dealing with new trainers. You know, they had no preliminary fight to really get the kinks out. They were just kind of touch and go. You know, they have Dave Caldwell there. You know, my personal opinion, I think Dave Caldwell and Xavier Miller being there was kind of a distraction. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was listening to the Knowledge, and this is what I agreed with. I think that him looking over the shoulder, Dave Caldwell, Xavier Miller in front of him, they're giving him two different dynamics, two different instructions. So it's you know, it's kind of hard to deal with, especially when, you know, you're supposed to focus on one person that's giving you instruction and trying to get you to navigate through that fight successfully. So I think that was a factor. Now, will that happen between Xavier Miller and the Shadow? I don't know. You know, so that remains to be seen. But what's apparent is Dillian Whyte feels that he fit in the training camp. The Shadow's good to be there. They're working good together on a good working relationship. This is good news for Dillian Whyte. He gets to avenge the fight for the first time ever. He gets to avenge a loss. He only has 2 losses, but he gets to avenge this one so he can get over that bump in the road. So the cat's out of the bag. Harold the Shadow will be the new addition to that particular team of Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte. You guys tell me what you think about this additive. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.